Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Amai. Today I'm going to show you how to build a MCP server using FastMCP library. So before we begin, there are some prerequisites which I want you to install. Some of them are not needed, some of them it's your choice. You can use something else if you want. So let's get started. Today we'll be building a MCP server which will give you just a idea of how MCP servers are built and how they are tested. It's kind of going to be a hello world of MCP server. So let's begin. First thing I want you to install is a terminal called Warp, and you can use your own terminal if you want, but this has some AI capabilities. For example, if you don't know any commands, you can just ask AI to give you the commands and it will work on its own. And this is an AI focused video, so I want you to install. It's free. There are some restrictions on the free version, but yeah, you can read the documentation here and pricing. Second thing I want you to install is the UE package manager for Python. So I have used Poetry before, I have used pip, but in this course I'm going to use UE, and this is also new for me, so I'm also going to learn along with you. The third thing I want you to install is Claude Desktop. And this is basically a client for our MCP server. So technically you can build a client on your own and test out your MCP server. But for me, I would prefer to use Claude Desktop because I don't want to build a client and test it out. Yep. And the fourth thing, and the main thing, the most important thing, is the IDE. So technically you can use any IDE you want. We are building this in Python. You can use PyCharm or even like a simple notepad, Sublime, whatever you prefer, or Visual Studio Code. But since we are demoing this and I'm demoing how do you build it with AI, I'm going to go with Cursor. So Cursor has an IDE which is built on top of Visual Studio Code, and I have found it very useful. So if you want, you can go ahead and download this. Now typically I'm a Mac user, so in order to install packages I use Homebrew. I'm going to show you one by one how to install it. So let's begin with Warp. Since you don't have Warp already installed, you can open your terminal, which is going to be your native terminal. For Mac it's just called terminal. You can just say brew install Warp. And if you're not sure about the command, you can just go here and type in Warp and it will give you a command. So since I have already installed everything in interest of time, but this is the command you can give to install Warp. Once you have Warp, now you can open Warp, and same thing, you can install the next package, which is going to be UE. So you can just say brew install UE. So if you see, it already auto suggested me install UE because I did it before. You can just press in tab. Like I said, I have already installed everything, so it's just giving me a warning it's already installed. For Claude, you can just install Claude again. If you are not sure what's the command for it, go to Homebrew, copy paste and install. Oh, so one thing, why is it installing Claude? I already have a Claude. Okay, that's fine. Oh, it upgraded Claude. Okay, that's nice. And Cursor is the final thing. Again, you can go back here, type in Cursor and install Cursor. Okay, so before we begin, I'm assuming that you already know what an MCP server is, what Claude is, what are the different AI models, what are the different types of tools available there where you can integrate the MCP server. This is just a tutorial or a guide to build a fast MCP server. And let's begin now. Since we have everything installed, let's get our hands-on coding. So before we begin, let's create a folder in the location of your choice. I usually keep all my tech related stuff in a folder called repo. So I'm just going to cd into it. Now you want to create a new folder. I'm going to call it MCP server. Oh, that's a good suggestion from AI tutorial. Once we have this folder, you cd into it, and now you are going to init the project. And since we have UV as a package manager, you can just say UV init, and it initialized the project for you. That's awesome. AI also gave a suggestion that create a virtual environment. So I can just go ahead and click this, or you can run the command like source vnv activate. But let's see what it says. That's the reason I wanted you to install Warp, because some of the things it simplifies for you. Rather than searching for commands online or on ChatGPT, you can get all the commands here. All right, so if you see, I'll create a virtual environment for you. Since you're on Mac and already have initialized the project with UV, I'll use UV. That's awesome. Run it. All right, now I think it created the environment and it also activated it. Or is it asking me to run the command? Okay, it's asking me to run the command. So just grab this command and run it. And now if you see, we have a virtual environment activated. Once you have this, the first thing that you want to do is install the dependency for FastMCP. And a way of doing it is either you can ask AI, but you can just say UV add FastMCP. See how it gave an auto suggestion. Right, now we have installed UV, we have installed FastMCP. Now we can go and start our project in Cursor. Just click on Cursor, say open project, and navigate to the newly created folder. And this is how it looks like. So at the left, you'll see the folder structure. So this is basically, the UI looks like Visual Studio Code. The only new thing that you see here at the right is the chat window. This helps you to build your projects using prompts, and I'm going to show you how. In a typical video tutorial, I would have said that in order to build a server, go back to your documentation, copy paste this and run it. But here we're going to do some things differently. We're going to leverage AI. I have Claude premium subscription, so that's why I can see a lot of models. When I click on models, I can see even more. Even I can add models, but these are the models that I already have. Even if you don't have premium subscriptions, I believe there are some models which are free for the tasks which are as easy as this. So you don't always need fancy models. But since I have premium right now, I'm just going to go with Claude Force on it. And I'm going to prompt it to create me a server. So I'm going to prompt it right now, and you can read through as I type. I'm going to say create me a demo MCP server, and let's see how it works. Now in AI, you can also paste in documentation. So I can just go here and paste it here, and say, please use fast. You don't have to be elaborate for simple tasks. Oh, it already did it. right? So now it's going to create me a server.py file, and it's doing something more than I asked it for. I think it's creating several tools for me. Okay, let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so it created me a tool called add numbers. It created a tool multiply numbers. It created a tool calculate factorial. Wow, I never asked it to do all this. Generate password. This is interesting. All right. Okay. So what I'm going to do right now is I don't need all this methods and tools for the example, and I'm very surprised with AI doing all this. I'm just going to prompt it. Just keep the password tool. And I'm pretty sure it will remove all the tools that it has. Awesome. So right now we just have one tool. Okay, it's still working on something. Awesome. I'm going to accept all the changes. I didn't even see if it's correct or not, but we'll know as we progress. So it created a password tool. Basically what it does is it generates a password for me, and now we're going to actually use this tool or use this MCP server and inject it into Claude and see how it works. Before integrating it with Claude Desktop and or test your tool, which is generate password, first we'll make sure that this server actually runs without any errors. So go back to your warp and type in this command uv run python server. So we do have server.py, that's the file you want to refer. When we init the project from uv, it created a main file. We don't need this, so we can go ahead and delete it, do some cleanup. And I think I forgot to mention before, but when you specified uv init, it tried to create project toml file with dependencies, a uv log file which will log all the dependencies, and a Python version file which will point to the right Python version. It also went ahead and created a gitignore file and a readme file. So we will update all these files as we go along the course, but right now our focus is to just start up an MCP server. So let's run the server, and it should not show any errors. Awesome, that's great. So the server is running right now. The MCP version is 2.10.5, which is the latest one right now. The MCP version is 1.12. Sorry, the FastMCP version, which is a wrapper on top of MCP version. Then we have the name of the server, demo MCP server. The transport protocol that we're using is stdio, and other related information. So since we know the server is working fine, we can just go ahead and quit it. Awesome. Now, in order to integrate it with Claude and in order to use this tool in prompts, what you can do is there's one simple line you have to execute to integrate with Claude Desktop. Go back to your FastMCP doc and scroll down where it says Claude Desktop. So recently they have an integration with Claude Desktop, and the command to run is simply this. Once you run this command, it will integrate with your Claude Desktop, and you'll see right now how it works. So go back to your terminal and just run this. Awesome. This local MCP server was integrated with your Claude Desktop. So now go ahead and open Claude. Right now I'm on a free plan. You don't need a premium subscription if you don't want to. And typically how it would work previously is you had to go to your Claude settings, go to your developer settings, and see, now it actually added the Claude server, sorry, MCP server. But previously you had to go edit configs, open this file, add some stuff. But now MCP, FastMCP basically supports it out of the box. You don't have to deal with all these configurations. You just run one command line, and if you see back here, you already see your demo MCP server which is already running. So now how do we use it? So basically go back to your Claude prompts and okay, chats, and since you no, I don't want the history, new chat, sorry. Since you already have your tool integrated with Claude, and you can just click on this icon, search and tools, and you will see a server which you built right now already there. And if you click on it, you see one tool which is generate password. So now what, you can go back here and just say, can you generate me a password? Now it will actually access the tool that we created in our MCP server, and it will go ahead and query the tool, and it will give you the results back. Now it's asking you, should I go ahead and use that tool? So of course, and if you see, it actually went ahead, gave a request which is basically blank, because if you go back to the code and check it, the length is already defined as 12 by default, and include symbols is also defined true by default. Now let's say we want to change this. Okay, so we got a response back. Now let me ask, can you create me a password with 20 chars and don't include symbols? Now what it will do is, it will, in the request, it will try to modify this to our query. Let's see if it works. Awesome. See, the request now says length 20, include symbols false, and that's what it did. It gave me a response back. And if you minimize this, it gives me an answer in a summarized way. It's not going to give me a JSON response back, right? Because it goes ahead, parses the JSON response, and gives me natural language. Hey, so this is the end of the tutorial. We learned how to build an MCP server using the FastMCP library. And in future, we are going to do a lot of exciting things. First things first is we are going to create a GitHub repository, and not manually. We are going to use Cursor and AI features to create us a repository. We are going to use git commit using AI, add messages using AI, and all that exciting stuff. After that, we are going to we'll try to integrate with an API. And once we are done with that, we are going to try to integrate the MCP server with a bunch of APIs using Swagger and Open API documentation. So stay tuned, and thank you for watching.